Hello and welcome to the White Collar Fitness Radio, the ultimate podcast for professionals striving to achieve optimal performance in today's fast-paced age. I'm your host, Bruno Dalladoni, online body transformation specialist and founder of The Health Coach Fitness. I'm here to help you optimize your health and fitness, even if you're short on time. What's up, everybody? Today we are talking managing a busy work schedule and obviously having a fitness routine with that. So managing a busy work schedule and a fitness routine. We need two things really to consider. The first one is being successful is a skill. Okay, so think about any area of your life you consider reasonably successful, and I will just sort of caveat the fact that success is very much defined by ourselves. My idea of success might be very different to your idea of success, so we're not defining that word. We're not, let's say, qualifying that word today. Whatever area of your life you consider to be successful, let's look at some of the things that you've done or you do to make that successful, and then how we can transfer those skills and those actions and, where applicable, those behaviors into other areas of your life so that they can also be successful. So the first thing really to consider is that obviously where you think, obviously this is a fitness podcast, so, we'll consider, for example, physical muscle, but you also have your mental muscle. So for example, if you want to grow your biceps or your glutes or your calves, nobody grows their calves. It's very sad. You would go into the gym and you'd do your sets and your reps and you'd get some volume in and you'd increase that weight and that volume and that challenge over time, because your body adapts and you become better at handling what you were doing last week or the week before. And you improve, and your capacity for work, in this case on your biceps, will increase over time, but you don't start there. Okay, you don't start with a 50 kilo dumbbell doing bicep curls. You start on the fives and you make your way up. By the way, I've never met anyone that curls 50 kilos, but you get the point. So understanding that and then applying it to some of your mental muscles, and they're not technically muscles, but you can think of them as muscles. So discipline, consistency, so on and so forth. For your mental muscles will make a huge impact, because people go, oh, I just can't do that. I can't go to the gym. I can't eat properly, whatever. Well, all of that stuff you already do in other areas of your life. So it's just transferring them across. You can do them. You do them. Maybe you just haven't recognized the fact that it's the same skill, just being applied slightly differently. So that also comes with what I like to describe, again in fitness terms, the time under tension, the time you apply to these things. So say, for example, you are somewhere in the middle of your career. Let's just punch between late 20s and mid 40s. Anywhere really along the spectrum, like from when you just left uni or you've just started working all the way through to you retire. But let's just say you haven't accrued the promotions you have, the pay raises you have, the new responsibilities you have for no reason. Like you didn't show up today or a day and do a thing and they've gone, oh my God, that's great, and then gave you a promotion. What you've done is you've done the same boring stuff day on day, week on week, and you've done it to a competent enough level, whether you've excelled or not, I don't know. Only you know that. But you've done it at a competent enough level that the powers that be have gone, nice, and given you a promotion. So this again applies to all your fitness things, fitness related things, and not just fitness, but other areas of your life also. So if you've got a really successful career and your family's falling apart, then perhaps dedicating some time to doing that, and then doing that consistently, having enough time and attention doing the boring stuff to fix your family might help. The same as if you have your fitness goals and you know you just gotta do the time, be consistent. And I use work because unless you've made it, most of us work. So, and even if you've made it, you probably do some form of work, although whatever that is, I don't know. But anyway, I deviate. So I use work as an example because it's relatable. You can see, right? You can see what I'm saying. At least I hope you can. And so you're consistent with your work. You have that time and attention. Now, consistency, and I want you to take a second here and just think, consistency is wildly different to perfection. Okay? So you rock up to work when you're ill. You rock up to work when your small baby spend the night crying. You haven't slept at all. Maybe you've gotten like 2 hours sleep. Your brain is barely firing on half a cylinder, but you're there and you're doing the thing. You're being consistent, even though the work output, the work quality might not be the same. You're still just ever so slightly shifting that needle forwards. You're still moving. You still have momentum. You're still being consistent, even though it's not perfect. So consistency and perfection are wildly different things. But for some reason, whenever we hear the idea of consistency from a fitness and health point of view, whether it's nutrition, whether it's exercise, whether it's literally anything related to this, mindfulness, rest and recovery, whatever, we tend to think that if we don't tick every single box every single time, we've completely fallen off the wagon. And that's just not the case. So, bear in mind that for you to be able to train those mental muscles as well as your physical muscles, you need the consistency, but the consistency doesn't have to be perfect. As in, you don't have to achieve perfection every single time you perform a thing for it to be consistent. And then on the topic of, being successful is in fact a skill. It's a mental muscle, you could think. Taking some time, and we're all terrible at this, myself included, taking some time, whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's 5 hours, it doesn't matter, going for a walk, taking some time and meditating, reflecting, doing some yoga, going for a run. Like, honestly, it doesn't matter how you get yourself into a reflective / meditative state, but spending some time with yourself and recognizing the things you do day to day that make that successful area of your life successful, and taking a second to recognize the patterns and the habits and the skills on a broad level that make that happen, can be really useful for you going, okay, well, I do in fact show up to work 5 days a week. And even when I don't perform my best, I'm still there doing something. Then perhaps applying that same level of, okay, well, actually I see that to other areas will have a massive impact. So, taking the time to reflect on what you do that makes you successful in those areas of your life that you are successful, being consistent and having just time doing it, effectively the things that create success. Now, the title of the topic of today's episode is managing a busy work schedule and the fitness routine. So I know I've spoken a lot about work already, But like I said, work is just an easy example that most people can relate to. Now, if you also want to have a fitness routine, you want to have a good, family life, you want to whatever, then you have to learn not what to focus on per se, but on what to kind of suck at, on what to be terrible at for a little while. So it's not that I want you to be terrible at anything ever, but we have this concept, and it's like little buzzwords that sound right, but they just aren't. Things like work-life balance and whatever that is. I need some balance. I need some I need to spread myself so everything is constant. It's no, sorry to burst that bubble, but no. It doesn't work that way, right? Life is flux all the time. Like, again, I will keep using the work example, but think about it when you have a time-sensitive, like Class A importance project land on your desk. Everything else takes a back seat. Everything else goes on the back burner. You put your energy, your focus, your effort, your attention into that one thing to get that done. So everything else isn't any different. Again, it's taking the time to reflect and see those patterns. Okay, so if you want to lose some weight, and that is in fact a priority for you, then you're going to have to pull time out of somewhere else. We do, in fact, only have 24 hours in the day, all of us. But it's time management, effective time management, and effective expectation of what you can do with that time that will move the needle forwards for you. So yeah, we do all have the same time, but we don't all do the same thing with that time. And so realizing that and realizing that you're going to have to sacrifice something, whatever that is, to move something else forwards is really important. And it's the only way that you can actually make some progress and be good at anything without sort of bashing your head on a wall over and over and over again and not really getting anywhere, right? Just wheel spinning. So it's really important. You have to choose what you're going to almost put a pin on. Like, I'm happy for X to take over. Like, work isn't crazy at the moment. I can just put a pin on that and just take that over. That's fine. I don't have to drop everything and focus on this mega project that has just landed. Things are cruising at the moment. So I'm going to actually not work as late as I usually do. And I'm going to dedicate some time to myself. Now, the beauty of fitness, health, all of these things is that, where you have to go to work every day, you don't have to hit the gym every day. You don't have to go for a run every day. You can do that 3 times a week. And as long as everything else in the plan works, that might just be enough. Now, if you want to go from maybe you exercise some, but you want to take that to the next level and you want to actually, say, for example, do a fitness photo shoot, or you want to go on a bodybuilding stage, or then 3 times a week won't be enough and you're going to have to sacrifice a hell of a lot of time. It's, again, just choosing where to put that focus, but more importantly, choosing what you're willing to give up and choosing what you're willing to, for lack of a better term, suck at for a little while. But these things also tend to be cyclical, seasonal, cyclical. They come, they go. You don't always have to perform at 100%. Like we said about, your consistency. Consistency isn't the same as perfection. So I had an old coach who used to say, your day to day, and he used to talk about this in terms, obviously, of exercise and fitness and all these amazing things that we love to talk about in the podcast. But he used to say, your day-to-day should be performed at around 80%. Your fitness routine should be performed at around 80%, because when you then have that major project land on your desk, when you then decide that you're going to do a photo shoot, or you have a wedding to go to, or you've got a holiday, or you've got a bodybuilding show, whatever that looks like, you still have juice in the tank, focus left in you, brain power available to switch gears and go, okay, now we're pulling the pin on this grenade and we're going to go. But if you're constantly trying to perform at 100%, falling kind of short of that, and then beating yourself up about it, well, you're actually creating a negative feedback loop on the success skill. Okay? You know how to be successful, and you just have to take that step back and reflect on, the things that are getting you success, the things that are making you successful aren't always perfect, but they are consistent. Therefore, if you want to have a good fitness routine, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be consistent. Okay, guys, that is enough from me today. I hope that has been mildly helpful. And as always, like, share, subscribe, send it to your friends, spread it on social media, do all the good things, rate me 5 stars, and I will be catching you next time.